Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a highly requested video. This is actually the second most requested video besides my handbag collection, which don't worry, I will be doing one very soon one day. But this video I think is going to be very helpful if you are interested in any of these handbags that I'm talking about. And it is the designer handbags that I've purchased and have now sold and why. Just my pros, my cons, and opinions about these bags. So hopefully you guys find this helpful. And like usual, if you're new here, welcome. I would love for you guys to stay a while and join my YouTube fam. If you hit the bell and the subscribe button, you will be notified every time that I upload a video. And I would love for you guys to follow me on Instagram and Snapchat as well. I'll put my name somewhere on the screen and I'll have everything in the information box below. Wow, I look really funny. The lighting is not that great. I actually filmed earlier this day. I did my collective haul that's probably now up on my channel, and I just got really hot and I went and ran some errands, changed my earrings, threw my hair up in a ponytail, and I look like poop. So I'm sorry, but I just was in a filming mood, so I just wanted to sit down and do this video for you guys. I have all of my handbags that I sold written down in my agenda just in case. I had to remember, like, if it's been a while, I sort of just forgot. And if I forget about a handbag that I used to own, it is my ultimate reassurance that I made the right decision, obviously, if I'm not even thinking about it anymore. So if you've been following me, you already know about this bag. You probably already know about a few of these bags, but some of them you probably don't know that I used to own. But this first one that I want to mention is my first designer handbag purchase and my only regret on this entire list. And that is the Louis Vuitton Speedy 30, Classic 30 in the monogram print. I'm going to be putting images on the screen somewhere of screenshots that I just got from Google Images. Hopefully I don't get in trouble, but yeah, I don't know why I did that. Well, I do know why I did that. For a while, I just sort of got over the whole top handle only handbag sort of situation, and I just felt like it was a little bit too matronly for the moment, or I don't know what phase I was going through, but now I regret that so much even more because I love top handles at the moment. I'm so obsessed with my Celine Micro. And when I say top handle handbags, I mean something that has no extra strap for you to hold it. So it's nice to have the option, don't get me wrong. But at that time, I was also reaching for more for my Speedy B30 because it had the extra strap. I really just I regretted it immediately. So I have no cons to the Speedy, the classic Speedy. And you guys know every inch and nook and cranny detail about Speedies, I'm pretty sure, if you enjoy watching luxury handbag videos here on YouTube. But the only con I could say is that if you are not a top handle only wearer, like when it comes to handbags, do not get a classic Speedy. Me personally, unless, let me rewind. Unless you have other handbags that fill the void of, you know, wearing it crossbody or on the shoulder, and you would like variety, you know, to your collection, then fine. I think the Speedy is fantastic. But for me, when I sold it, I just felt like getting the money to go towards something else that I felt would work for my lifestyle. So I don't really know. It's just a regret. And the only reason why I regret it is because it has sentimental value. I know the Speedy is super replaceable, but I will never get that exact one back. Next handbag that I sold that maybe some of you guys know that I had, maybe you don't, is the Givenchy Pandora in the medium size in the washed wrinkled leather in light gold hardware. This bag is actually super functional and it was really lightweight and it did its job. I just kind of got over the fact that it was like just a black hole, and I felt like I was constantly digging and looking for my items. I used the front zipper pocket the most on that bag for my wallet, my keys, and my phone, the things that I would grab the most. But when I would go into the bigger section, it would annoy me so much. At that time period, I did sell it with the intention of getting in a smaller size, but then I realized I just was over it. I just got over the shape. But there really is nothing wrong with that bag. If bags annoy you, like when it comes to like bottomless pits, that bag would annoy you for sure. But I will say it is a fantastic option for an all leather crossbody bag that has an extra shoulder option and, you know, the long crossbody strap, which I didn't really like the way the long crossbody strap looked on me. I liked wearing it in the crook of my arm or on my shoulder with the shorter rolled top handle. The next bag that I sold was the Saint Laurent collage bag, or college bag, however you want to pronounce it, in the medium size. It just sucks because I was such a fan of the silhouette of this bag. I still am. I think it's one of the most fantastic flap with a top handle, long chain sort of shape bags. Beside, it kind of reminds me of the Pochette Métis a little bit, or yeah. But what made me so upset was the quality of that bag. I feel like I got like the runt of the litter or something like that, because everybody else that has this bag loves it, they enjoy it, they have the bigger size, and it's like one of their favorite bags, and blah 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 blah. And I don't know, maybe it was the batch that I got it from, but mine felt so cheap. The stitching was like popping out. The fuzz, or like the stuffing, I call it fuzz because that's what it felt like. The stuffing inside of the quilting of that bag, like when you would squish it down, it sort of sounded like and felt like, you know, those cheap stuffed animals that you would get in like the claw machines. That's what it reminded me of, and it just made me sick to my stomach, because that price point for those bags just made me feel like, okay, well, it's halfway there to an actual Chanel bag. And obviously any flap quilted bag is inspired from Chanel. We all know that. So I just sort of felt like, ugh. And I knew later on that year I wanted to get the jumbo, and I was just like, what am I doing? Let me just get rid of it while I can. It was a hot item at the moment, so I didn't lose any money on it, but it was just such a disappointment. Now when I actually see them in the department stores and I touch them, they definitely feel different. The leather that I had also too was, it wasn't smooth and it wasn't pebbled. It had like a slight texture in the leather. It was kind of like crinkled. Yeah, now that yeah, it was definitely different from the ones that I've seen more recently. And I love the all black on black ones, the black hardware ones. I just love it. It's such a fantastic size, and I love that it had like a huge pocket in the back. It just makes me really sad, because the function of that bag is phenomenal. Such a good shape. But yeah, that's why I ended up selling it, because the quality and the price point were just on two opposite ends of the spectrum. Okay, next bag that I sold was my Alexander McQueen padlock duffel bag in the small. This bag, I had it in all black. This bag was such an amazing bag. It was my ride or die. It, you know, came with me. It went through the ringer. This bag, you know, it just started looking really sad and saggy, and was just getting to the point where I wasn't picking it up anymore because it looked so destroyed. So ultimately, overall, this bag was amazing. There are no cons to this bag. The one thing I will say is I hardly used it as a crossbody bag, because I didn't like the way, number one, that size of a bag looks as a crossbody, but the top with the handles, which now the handles are different. Now the handles that they make this bag with have metal rings at the bottom of the handles, so they, you know, they can lay flat on either side of the bag. The ones that I had, you know, the handles seamlessly sewn onto the bag. So when I would wear it crossbody, it would just sort of do this weird drooping motion. But for me, I like the way that bag looked aesthetically, the original one like I had versus the newer ones. There's nothing wrong with the newer ones, and especially if you are going to be wearing it crossbody, I would suggest to get the newer version. But I loved to wear mine top handle on the crook of my arms, but that was the only con, the way it looked when I would wear it crossbody, even though I would hardly wear it crossbody. Hope that makes sense. But overall, the only reason why I got rid of that bag is because it just looked so dang tired. I'm always so tempted to repurchase that bag on the pre-loved market. The price point of those on the pre-loved market are like a fraction of the price retail. It just did its job for a few years. It was fantastic. So I still love that bag. So the next bag is a bag that you guys are aware of that I no longer have, and it's the Speedy B30 monogram print. Okay, there's several reasons why I got rid of this bag. One main huge reason is I felt like for a crossbody bag, I didn't like the way that it looked. And anytime that I would carry it top handle, it would make me sad that it wasn't my classic Speedy. Okay, so that's one of the reasons. Another reason was I knew that I was going to be purchasing a Speedy B25. That size just really grew on me. I think it's the perfect everyday crossbody bag size. I like the fact that you have the top handle options, but in my mind, I'm not treating it or looking at it like a classic Speedy. And I'm just so devastated from selling my classic Speedy that it just made me sort of sad every time I would use my Speedy B30. Now, as far as function goes for the Speedy B, especially in the 30, I think it's phenomenal. It's a great size if you carry a ton with you. It's the most carefree crossbody bag you're gonna get because it's canvas. You can even get an even more carefree version if you get the damier ebene, which I personally like the Speedy B30 the most in the damier ebene because the strap on the side of the bag actually sort of just blends in a lot nicer versus the contrast from the lighter vachetta on the monogram print. But when it comes to the Speedy B25, we all know that I can't make up my mind between which one I want, the monogram or the damier ebene. I actually really do Love both so much, but lately I've been sort of thinking the Damier Ebene 25 and repurchasing a classic Speedy in the 30. I don't know if I'm going to do it this year, but that's kind of like where I foresee my collection going. So there really is no cons to the Speedy B30. It was just all personal opinion when it comes to the way it looked as a crossbody bag. So yeah, and I will say if I ever become a mom or ever need a crossbody bag that fits more, I would see myself getting a Speedy B30 in the Damier Ebene. Next handbag is a very sad situation because I knew right away the moment that I got it, I no longer wanted it, and it was the Chanel Mini, and it's not far from me. It's still in my family, so I can use it whenever I want technically, but I was just really disappointed. I feel like with the Chanel Mini, I got it in the black caviar with silver hardware. With the Chanel Mini, I kind of imagined it being the exact version and the way I felt of it being a mini version of my Chanel Jumbo. I didn't take into consideration that the chain only had 2 holes on the top, which this is now me being super, super picky. But ultimately, if I wanted an identical version of my Chanel Jumbo, then I should look for one of the vintage Chanel minis that has the 4 grommets on top. And then it just didn't feel the same. I think the year of the leather that it was made was it's just so different from my Jumbo single flap. Quality just feels a little bit different. Not that it was bad. It was just sort of disappointing. And then I just felt like, gosh, mini bags are like kind of a trend for me at the moment. And as far as like spending a Chanel price point on something that could be like trendy, I just really didn't want to feel like stuck with such an expensive bag. And ultimately the Gucci Marmont mini bag was just always in the back of my mind. It had a chunky chain, it had the 4 grommets on top. I felt like it was a little bit more for your money when it comes to that sort of size bag. And then I also came to the conclusion that if I ever did get another Chanel Mini, I'd probably want to do it in the square because I feel like I wouldn't be looking at it like it's an identical mini version of my Chanel Jumbo. So I won't be comparing it. It won't be like, you know what I mean? I make no sense. I literally annoy myself because I make no sense with like the way I like think of things, and then my mind is always changing. And then another thing that could have changed my mind, I would have kept it maybe if it was like a fun color or something a little bit more unique where again, it wasn't like an identical version of my Jumbo. I thought by getting it in silver, it would be a little bit different, but it was just did nothing for me. And I never want to feel with that price point of a handbag, especially immediately, like I don't love it. So that scared me. That is something that I no longer have. Another bag that I ended up getting rid of was my Givenchy Antigona in the medium size. Oh man, that bag is beautiful. It is gorgeous. If I could go back, and I'm gonna be 100% honest with the mini, a lot of you guys ask why I don't use the mini very often. I'm kind of over it. I really am over it. And I feel like, why didn't I ever just go with the small size? Because if I were to ever, well, now live and learn, because the mini is still really cute. I think it's really functional. It's kind of annoying to open because it's like a little mini clam. Even the medium, being at the biggest size that you can get it, was like a clam. And right now I'm loving the at a glance sort of vibe, especially when it comes to bigger bags. The medium was just, I don't know, it was too big, too bulky. I feel like any handbag at that size, or the stuff that I would need to bring with me with a bag at that size, I would prefer, and was reaching way more for my Neverfull. And I just started feeling like, like, I don't know. So then when I got the mini, I was like, okay, I'm gonna go the opposite end of the spectrum. I don't know, I'm actually considering selling that bag too. I don't know. But I will say now, since I've tested out the, the mini and the medium, I know for a fact if I were to ever repurchase a Givenchy Antigona, it would for sure be in the small size. It's the perfect size. It's like a Speedy 30. It's a perfect everyday size. So right now I'm such a fan of that guy over there that I kind of want to get that bag actually in all black. Not this year. I already made a vow that I'm not buying any handbags this year. At least retail. Am I allowed to do that? I can't do this. I am crazy. And last but not least, the bag that I get pretty much yelled at for selling because I talked so highly about, and I still talk so highly about, is the Gucci Soho disco bag. I had that in the black pebbled leather. That was one of my favorite smaller crossbody bags I have ever owned. The reason why I sold that bag is not because of a con or anything like that. It's because it just got so tired looking. It completely lost its shape and I just mistreated it. So if I were to ever go back and repurchase the disco, I'd want it in a different color where I wouldn't be using it as much as a black bag, and I wouldn't be treating it the way that I treated it, that one. It just got really tired. The strap was even like peeling from itself in between like the stitch straps like together. I hope that makes sense. So it was falling apart, as it should. I mean, I beat that thing up. I would stuff it on the I would like literally smash it on the bottom of like my duffel bags, and I would have a bunch of like shoes and clothing and things like that on top of it, and it just, I mean, it's an object. It's gonna get ruined if you treat it like shit, you know? Like, let's be realistic. I still love that bag. I think it's the best handbag on the designer market that's under $1,000. And even if it became like $1,100, like I still think it's fantastic. I personally was just, it's not that I was over it, the look of it. I still think it's one of the most classic, simple handbags, understated. Like, I don't know, it's just super cute. But I was just so obsessed with the Gucci Marmont collection at the moment, and I still am. And for me, I definitely feel a difference as far as quality goes from that price point from the disco to the Marmont. I actually enjoy the Soho disco bag aesthetically more than the Marmont camera bag collection, 1000%. I just love it. It's just super cute. The Marmont collection for me, the flat bags all the way. I used to like the camera bags. I think they're actually really cute on other people. No offense if anyone has it. I think it's really, really cute, but it just does nothing like, I don't know. And I'm also too just so satisfied with everything that I've gotten lately that I'm kind of off trend things at the moment. I'm more on to like sticking to classics that I've always originally wanted. I don't know how this turned into now what I'm talking about of maybe future purchases, but I hope this was helpful. That is everything that I have purchased. If I mentioned a bag that you want to know more about that I didn't really touch on, please make sure you leave a comment below. I'll get back to you, or you can email me. I'll leave my email information in the description box as well. And I hope this was helpful for anyone that may be interested in any of these handbags, you know, to purchase, or maybe you already own these handbags and you're on the fence of selling them, and maybe, you know, you have a similar lifestyle as me and, you know, we think alike or whatever. I ultimately love doing these videos because I love to be helpful, and that's why I also love watching these videos. So if you found it helpful and you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. And thank you so much for taking the time to watch this. I will see you guys next time. Bye. Mwah.